Hey, good to see you. Good to see
Charlie,
you.
give me a kiss, girl.
Hey, not too bad.
Yeah, good, good.
It's down so I'm a little bit more aesthetically pleasing for you here in the front row. So if we start to fall asleep, don't worry. I got a bullhorn. I'll wake you up. There's a siren on it. So my name's Kevin Battistoni. I work for Hunter Industries, obviously. I am our National Customer Experience Manager. So I'm part of the sales team. And I've been with the company for about 19 years now. For 15 of those 19 years, I had a sales territory in the Midwest. Wisconsin, Illinois, Missouri, and Northwest Indiana. That's right, Connor. In the Midwest, to get the same sales dollars you guys do in these dense ones, we got to drive 2 or 3 states. Does everybody know Kevin Lewis? Kevin Lewis is the regional manager for the Northeast team. And I'd like to introduce Connor Mayer, who is our latest addition to the Hunter family. He comes from the green industry, a family born into irrigation, right? Contracting side. We kind of have a history of hiring people from within the industry. My family's been in the industry on the contracting side of irrigation since 1928. And I worked in the family business till about age 19. And then I went to work in supply chain for 11 years. Just started pushing the broom in the warehouse, kind of worked my way up, ran a store, outside sales, so on and so forth. But I had the opportunity to spend some time with Connor at the Northeast Irrigation Conference. I see a couple of faces that attended that. And I'm here to tell you, you're in good hands with Connor, definitely. We're excited for what he brings to the table in the Northeast team, but as well as the domestic team.
Jimmy McGovern Jr.?
Let's hope.
I think he's got that type of run.
All right.
But with that in mind, what we're going to do today is because of the blanket of revenue that these sales managers produce, I get the freedom to travel throughout North America and meet with contractors all over and interview them to see things that they're doing. You know, like sales managers will identify Connor, will say, hey, you got to go talk to Kevin's irrigation. This guy's got a closure rate that's like 20% higher than anybody else in the market. Or this person's leveraging artificial intelligence in a great way, or doing flat rate upfront pricing versus a time and material type of pricing, and it's yielding a higher profit margin. So I interview these contractors, and really what most of the content I'm going to share with you here today is derived from my travels and my interviews with contractors, and most of it's business related today. We do have, I feel like if we're here, we're going to give you a product update so that you know what's coming down the pipe in 2026, and it should be a fun day. We're going to start off. How many people in the room are using artificial intelligence to some degree? Okay. I started my journey with AI about 3 years ago. Before I get started though, I should have done this first. I want to thank State Line for their partnership and for putting this together, because without them, none of this would have happened. I came out for the first time, a year ago? Your conference was last week, right?
Yep.
And Kevin and I had a conversation about training. He said, hey, I've seen some of your content. I think what you're doing, we'd like to facilitate something like that. So it's cool to see it go from a conversation to actually being here today. But you're giving us your unrenewable resource of time today. I want to make sure that you get something of value out of it. So like it says on the screen, talk, and like you heard me saying to my 7-year-old daughter, this is not a presentation. This is interactive. The only way, we want questions back and forth. My goal whenever we do these trench talks is you might be in the room with some of your competitors. For just today and for just these hours, let's make this thing a peer group. Our mission is to try to, at the end of the day, Hunter and State Line wants everybody in the room to be as profitable as possible. If you guys are not profitable, no part of this ecosystem works whatsoever. So that's the goal. And without further ado, let's start off with what I call AI Unleashed practical tips and tricks. So I always start with a question, I think gets the room going. Anybody in the room can identify who that is? I might give it, I don't know what I've got gifts. I'll give away gifts with the questions. Anybody know who that is? Kev, you know who that guy is?
I forget.
I forgot. Anybody else? Here, I'll give you hints. He was born in America. He's an entrepreneur, and I'll really narrow it down for you. He's from the state of Michigan.
Henry Ford.
Boom, Henry Ford Sr., the OG, right? And this one came like 3 years ago. The IA said, hey, can you put together something for our Long Beach show on artificial intelligence? And at that point, I've been messing around with AI for probably about 6 months. I'm about 3 years in now. And the night before the presentation, I was laying in bed and I was thinking about a book I read called Think and Grow Rich a bunch of years ago. Anybody ever read that book? Okay. In the book, there was this chapter where they were talking about Henry Ford. And Henry Ford was on trial in 1919 for what they called the libel trial. And the book didn't give like real details on what the trial pertained to, other than the fact that the excerpt from it was, he was on the stand being grilled by an attorney from the prosecution. And they were asking him real detailed questions about Ford Motor Company. And the guy couldn't answer a single question, right? So the attorney kind of got upset, and then he started asking him basic general questions about Ford Motor Company. And he still couldn't answer any of those questions. So finally, Henry got so pissed, he said to the attorney, if I want to answer your question, or any of your foolish questions, let me remind you that I have a roll of electrical push buttons at my desk. And by pressing the right button, I can summons to my aid a subject matter expert in any aspect of my business. So basically what Henry was saying is, I don't have the bandwidth. I run this company, this huge company. I don't have the bandwidth to answer all your detailed questions. A day for me means I press a button and the guy who invented the V8 motor walks into my office and answers whatever I want. If I want to know about the Model A, I hit this button. If I want to know about transmissions, I hit that one. And it, like a light bulb went off in my head and I go, oh my God, that was artificial intelligence in 1919, right? That's essentially what it was. Because you think about it, we don't have the bandwidth, so we only have so many units of energy and memory in a day. And to try to keep everything straight in this digital world where, man, technology's great, but it can be wag the dog at times, right? And when is too much? I mean, how many people, the average American spends 7 hours and 5 minutes screen time between their smartphone, the desktop computer, and the boob tube at home, right? I mean, that's a third of the hours you have in the day. And if you think about it, we're all walking around with a device in our pocket that has more computing power than what got us to the moon, if you believe we even went, right? So it would behoove us not to leverage it in some way, shape, or form. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share with you my journey with AI. I'm gonna get vulnerable with you and honest, just to get the juices flowing a little bit. And then I'm gonna share with you some contractors that I've interviewed, how they're using AI. And really this track is to get you thought provoking. I hope by the end of the hour, we can collectively have a conversation and everybody can walk out of here not being intimidated by it and find at least one way in which you can apply AI to your business or your personal life to optimize your time, right? So with that in mind, yeah, that